Alex was the son of a very rich man. His father owned many businesses, cars, and even a private plane. Alex had everything he wanted. He had the best clothes, the newest gadgets, and a house full of toys. People often said he had no reason to worry about anything. But there was one place where Alex always failed. That place was school. No matter how hard he tried, Alex could not pass his tests. Math, science, history, or language, it did not matter. Every test ended in failure. Teachers would shake their heads, classmates would whisper and laugh, and Alex would feel a heavy sadness in his chest. He wanted to be smart. He wanted to feel proud of himself. But the harder he tried, the worse it seemed to get. His father had hired many tutors, some of the best in the city. Each tutor tried to teach him new methods. Some gave long lessons, others gave short notes. Some even brought computers and special programs. But nothing worked. Alex felt more lost every day. He started thinking that maybe he would never be good at school. One rainy afternoon, Alex sat in the school library. The windows were wet with rain and the sky was gray. Books were stacked on the tables and the smell of paper and ink filled the air. Alex's mind was full of worry. He stared at a math problem, but the numbers danced on the page. He wanted to cry. Then he noticed something unusual. A man was quietly walking between the rows of books. He wore a simple uniform and carried a small bucket and mop. His skin was dark and his movements were calm and careful. He smiled sometimes at students, but mostly he worked silently. This man was Mr. Carter, the school janitor. Alex had seen janitors before, but something about Mr. Carter felt different. He did not rush, he did not complain, and he did not seem bothered by the noisy students. There was a quiet strength in him, a calmness that Alex had never seen in anyone at school. Alex felt curious. He wanted to know how a man who did not even teach classes could seem so confident and calm. The next day, Alex waited near the library when he saw Mr. Carter enter. He walked slowly and said, "Excuse me, Mr. Carter." The janitor looked up and smiled kindly. "Yes, Alex, how can I help you?" Alex felt nervous. He was not used to talking to people who were not teachers or classmates. I want to know something," he said. "How do you stay so calm all the time? You never seem worried about anything, even when school is busy and loud." Mr. Carter's smile grew wider. "It is simple, Alex," he said. "It is not about knowing everything or being the fastest. It is about understanding yourself. It is about knowing your mind and how it works. If you understand yourself, you will never feel lost, even in hard situations." Alex did not understand fully, but he felt a small hope growing inside him. Maybe someone could help him. Maybe he could learn a way to be calm and confident, like Mr. Carter. Over the next few days, Alex watched Mr. Carter carefully. He noticed how Mr. Carter moved slowly and carefully, how he cleaned the floor without rushing, and how he smiled at students even when they were noisy. He noticed how Mr. Carter organized his work, finishing each small task before starting the next. Alex realized that the janitor's calmness was not magic. It was practice, patience, and understanding. One afternoon, Alex decided he would try to learn from Mr. Carter. He wanted to know the secret that made this man strong and calm. If he could learn it, maybe he could finally pass his tests. Maybe he could finally feel proud of himself. Alex felt a little nervous as he walked toward Mr. Carter. But deep inside, he felt something he had not felt before. He felt hope. Alex took a deep breath and walked up to Mr. Carter in the library. The janitor was mopping the floor quietly, humming a soft tune. Alex's heart beat fast. He had never asked an adult for advice like this before. "Mr. Carter," he said carefully, "can you teach me how to be calm and strong like you?" Mr. Carter looked at him with kind eyes. He set the mop aside and nodded. "Yes, Alex, I can show you one secret. But remember, it is not about magic or shortcuts. It is about your mind and how you use it." Alex felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. "I will do anything," he said. "I want to learn." Mr. Carter smiled gently. "Very well. Let's start with something simple. First, you need to pay attention to your thoughts. Many students feel worried because they focus on the wrong things. They think about failure, about what others will say, or about how hard the problem is. When you focus on fear, you cannot think clearly." Alex listened carefully. He had never thought of it this way. Every time he failed a test, he had focused on the fear of failing instead of understanding the questions. "Second," Mr. Carter continued, "you need to take one step at a time. Problems, whether in school or life, are often big. They seem impossible. But if you divide them into small steps, They become easier to handle. Focus on one step, finish it, and then move to the next. Alex nodded slowly. He had never broken his problems into small steps. He usually looked at the whole test and felt overwhelmed. Third, Mr. Carter said, you must trust yourself. Your mind is powerful, but many students do not believe in it. They think others are smarter or that success is only for the lucky. But luck is only part of it. The real power is in practice, focus, and patience. Trust that your mind can solve the problem if you give it time. Alex felt a small spark inside him. Could it really be this simple? Maybe he had been looking for complicated solutions when the answer was just patience and focus. Over the next few days, Alex began practicing what Mr. Carter taught him. Every morning before school, he sat quietly in his room, paying attention to his thoughts. He practiced dividing difficult problems into small steps. He tried to trust himself even when he felt unsure. At first, it was not easy. Alex would forget to focus or he would worry about failing. Sometimes he wanted to give up. But Mr. Carter encouraged him every day. Even the smallest effort counts, he said. You are learning how to think. That is the most important part. One afternoon, Alex had a particularly hard math problem. He felt the old panic rising in his chest. But then he remembered Mr. Carter's advice. He took a deep breath, focused on one small part of the problem, and solved it. Step by step, the problem became clearer. By the end, he had the correct answer. Alex felt a rush of happiness. He had solved a problem on his own without any help. For the first time, he realized that learning was not just about teachers or books. It was about how he used his own mind. Mr. Carter noticed Alex's progress. See, he said with a smile, your mind is learning. You just needed guidance, not answers. When you trust yourself, you can do anything. Alex felt proud, but also humble. He realized that no matter how much money his father had, no one could teach him this secret except Mr. Carter. He understood that true learning came from patience, focus, and belief in oneself. From that day, Alex started to change. He no longer feared tests. He no longer felt that school was impossible. He still made mistakes, but he learned from them. He saw each mistake as a small step toward understanding. Other students noticed the change too. Alex became more confident in class. He asked questions, listened carefully, and helped others when they were stuck. His teachers were surprised by his improvement, but Alex knew the real reason. It was not because of tutors or technology or money. It was because he had learned the secret that Mr. Carter had taught him. Alex felt hope for the first time. He realized that if he continued practicing, he could pass any test and face any challenge. And more importantly, he understood that success was not about being the richest or the smartest. It was about patience, focus, and believing in oneself. Alex had been practicing Mr. Carter's secret for several weeks now. Every day he spent time focusing his mind, breaking problems into small steps, and trusting himself. At first, the results were small, almost invisible. He still made mistakes, and sometimes he felt frustrated. But he noticed one thing. He no longer gave up immediately. He kept trying. One Monday morning, Alex arrived at school feeling a little nervous. Today they had a big science test. Usually, tests made his hands shake and his heart race. But today he remembered Mr. Carter's words. Focus, step by step, and trust yourself. He took a deep breath and opened the test paper. The first question looked complicated, but Alex broke it into smaller parts. He solved one step, then another, and slowly the solution began to appear. He worked carefully, thinking about the process rather than worrying about the grade. By the time he finished, he felt a quiet confidence. He had done his best, and that mattered more than anything. After the test, Alex walked to the library, hoping to see Mr. Carter. The janitor was there, quietly arranging books. How did it go? Mr. Carter asked. Alex smiled. It felt different. I didn't panic. I focused on each step, and I think I did well. Mr. Carter nodded approvingly. That is progress. Remember, Alex, every small success builds your strength. You are learning not just for tests, but for life. Alex began to notice other changes too. In class, he asked questions when he did not understand. He listened carefully to the teacher and tried to explain answers in his own words. Sometimes he still got the answers wrong, but he no longer felt embarrassed. Mistakes were just steps toward learning. One day during a group activity, a classmate named Mia struggled with a math problem. Alex remembered what Mr. Carter had taught him and offered help. Try this step first, he said gently. Mia followed his guidance and solved the problem. She smiled at Alex. Thanks, I didn't think I could do it. Alex felt something warm inside. Helping others felt good, but it also reminded him of his own journey. He remembered how hopeless he had felt a few weeks ago. Now he could use what he had learned to help someone else. As days passed, Alex continued practicing Mr. Carter's methods. He still had challenges, but each challenge became easier to face. He learned to slow down when he felt nervous, to think through each step carefully, and to trust that his mind could solve problems. One afternoon, Alex received his graded science test. He opened the paper and froze. A big red mark at the top showed his grade 85. It was his first passing grade in months. A wave of happiness and pride rushed through him. He had done it. He had passed a test without cheating, without shortcuts, without panic. Alex ran to the library to tell Mr. Carter. "Look," he said, holding up the test. "I passed. I finally passed a test." Mr. Carter looked at him with a gentle smile. "I knew you could, Alex, but remember, it is not the grade that is most important. It is what you learned on the way. You learned how to think, how to focus, and how to trust yourself. That is a skill no one can ever take away from you." Alex nodded, feeling proud but also humble. He understood that the secret was not about getting perfect grades. It was about believing in himself and using his mind wisely. For the first time, school did not feel impossible. It felt like a challenge he could meet. That evening, Alex reflected on his journey. He thought about how lost he had felt, how every test had seemed impossible, and how hopeless he had been. But now he had a new feeling, confidence. He knew that he could face any problem if he stayed calm, took one step at a time, and trusted himself. Alex also realized that Mr. Carter's secret was more than a method for studying. It was a lesson for life. Problems at school, at home, or in the future could be solved if he stayed focused, patient, and confident. This realization made him feel stronger than ever before. From that day, Alex's life began to change. Small victories like passing one test led to bigger changes. He became more attentive in class, more helpful to friends, and more confident in himself. And through it all, he never forgot Mr. Carter's words. Focus step by step and trust yourself. After passing his first test, Alex felt a new sense of confidence. He began looking at school differently. Before, every test or assignment seemed like a mountain too high to climb. Now he saw them as challenges he could face step by step. He remembered Mr. Carter's advice every day. Focus, take small steps, and trust yourself. Alex continued to meet Mr. Carter in the library after school. Each day, the janitor shared new ideas about learning and thinking. "Alex," he said one afternoon, "understanding is more important than memorizing. If you understand a topic, you can solve any question about it. Memorizing can help, but it is not enough." Alex listened carefully. He realized he had always tried to memorize answers for tests without really understanding the lessons. That explained why he had failed so many times. He decided to change his approach. He would read carefully, ask questions when he did not understand, and try to explain concepts in his own words. The next week, Alex had a history test. History had always been difficult for him because there were so many dates and events to remember. This time, he did not try to memorize everything. Instead, he focused on understanding the story behind each event. He imagined the people, the places, and the reasons behind the events. Step by step, he wrote his answers, explaining them as he understood them. After the test, Alex felt proud. He had worked hard and understood the material. It did not matter if his answers were perfect. What mattered was that he had tried a new way and learned something real. Alex's classmates began to notice the change. Some of them were surprised. He was more confident in class, asked thoughtful questions, and even helped others when they struggled. Alex felt good about this. He realized that helping others also made him stronger. He remembered Mr. Carter's words. Learning is not only for yourself, but also for sharing with others. One day, during a group science project, a classmate named Ravi was stuck on a problem. The group was frustrated. Alex calmly suggested, "Let's try one step at a time. We can break this problem into smaller parts." The classmates listened, followed Alex's guidance, and soon the solution became clear. Ravi smiled and said, "Thanks, Alex. I didn't know we could do it like this." Alex felt a warm feeling inside. He realized that his own learning could help others. He understood that success was not just about getting good grades. It was also about using knowledge wisely and helping people grow along with him. Despite his progress, Alex still faced challenges. Some tests were very hard and he sometimes made mistakes. But now mistakes no longer discouraged him. He treated them as lessons. Every mistake was a chance to understand better, to improve, and to try again. His father noticed the change too. One evening he asked Alex, "I hear you did well on your last tests." "What changed?" Alex smiled and thought carefully. "I am learning how to focus and trust myself, Father. I still make mistakes, but I am learning from them. I think that is why I am improving." His father nodded slowly, realizing that this was not about money or tutors. This was about Alex learning how to think and grow on his own. Alex also noticed a change in himself outside school. He was more patient and calm at home. He listened carefully to others, thought before speaking, and felt more confident in his decisions. He realized that what he learned from Mr. Carter could be used in many areas of life, not just school. By the end of the month, Alex had improved in almost every subject. His grades were not perfect yet, but they were much better than before. More importantly, he had a new mindset. He knew that he could face challenges, solve problems, and grow stronger with each step. Alex also felt grateful to Mr. Carter. He realized that the janitor's guidance had changed his life. It was not just about passing tests. It was about believing in himself, thinking clearly, and learning to overcome obstacles. Alex knew that he had learned a secret that would help him for the rest of his life. And so Alex's journey continued. With each small victory, he grew more confident, more patient, and more determined. He knew that challenges were not obstacles to fear, but opportunities to learn and improve. His mind was opening to a new world of possibilities, all because he had taken the first step to listen, focus, and trust himself. Alex's confidence continued to grow. He was no longer the boy who feared tests and avoided challenges. Every day he applied what Mr. Carter had taught him. He focused on understanding, breaking problems into small steps, and trusting himself. School started to feel less like a prison and more like a place where he could explore and learn. One morning, the teacher announced a difficult group project in science. It was a complicated experiment that required teamwork, careful observation, and accurate recording of results. Some students immediately felt worried and whispered among themselves. Many thought the project would be impossible to complete. Alex, however, felt a calm excitement. He remembered Mr. Carter's words. Challenges are opportunities to learn. Focus on the process, step by step. When the groups were formed, Alex found himself with 3 classmates he had not worked with before. One of them, Sam, was impatient and wanted to rush through the experiment. Another, Lena, was shy and afraid of making mistakes. The third, Rafi, did not take the work seriously and joked too much. Alex took a deep breath. He knew that teamwork could only succeed if everyone worked together calmly. "Let's start slowly," Alex suggested. "We can divide the experiment into small steps. Each of us can take one part and then we combine our results." At first, the others were doubtful, but Alex's calm confidence encouraged them. They agreed to try his method. Step by step, the group worked together. Alex guided them patiently, showing each part of the experiment and explaining why it was important. Sam began to slow down and follow instructions carefully. Lena started asking questions and contributing her ideas. Even Rafi, who usually joked, began to focus when he saw the progress. As they worked, Alex realized something important. His learning was not just about himself anymore. By staying calm and focused, he could help others succeed too. He remembered how Mr. Carter had helped him when he felt lost and afraid. Now he was passing that lesson forward. By the end of the project, the group had completed the experiment perfectly. Their results were accurate and their presentation was clear. The teacher was impressed and praised the group for their teamwork and careful work. Alex felt proud, but he also felt gratitude. He knew that his ability to stay calm and lead the group came from the lessons he had learned from Mr. Carter. After the project, Alex noticed another change in himself. He no longer worried about making mistakes. He understood that mistakes were part of learning. If he made a mistake, he could analyze it, understand what went wrong, and improve next time. This mindset made him brave. He tried new subjects and challenges without fear. One day, the teacher gave a surprise quiz in math. Alex felt a small rush of nervousness at first, but he quickly remembered his steps. Focus, small steps, and trust yourself. He read each question carefully, broke it into parts, and solved them calmly. When he finished, He realized he had completed the quiz correctly. Alex's classmates looked surprised. He smiled quietly to himself. He knew the real reason he was improving was not because of luck or talent. It was because he had learned how to think, focus, and apply himself consistently. At home, Alex shared his experiences with his father. "I did well on the project and the quiz today," he said. "I am learning how to focus and solve problems. I make mistakes, but I use them to understand better." His father listened carefully and smiled. "I am proud of you, Alex. It is good to see you working hard and thinking for yourself. That is far more valuable than just grades or money." Alex realized that his growth was not only about school, it was about life. He understood that challenges, teamwork, mistakes, and focus were skills that would help him in every situation. He felt more responsible, more confident, and more capable than ever before. As the weeks passed, Alex continued to improve in all subjects. He was not perfect, but he had developed a mindset that made learning easier and more enjoyable. He knew that with patience, practice, and guidance, he could face any challenge. Alex looked at himself in the mirror one evening and smiled. He had changed. He was no longer the boy who failed every test. He was a boy who had discovered the power of focus, patience, and self-trust, and he knew that this was only the beginning of his journey. Alex's progress continued, but not everyone believed in his change. Some classmates whispered and laughed behind his back. They thought he had only improved because of luck, or because he had help from tutors or technology. Even some teachers were surprised and skeptical. They could not understand how a boy who had failed every test before was suddenly doing so well. Alex noticed the doubts, but he did not let them affect him. He remembered Mr. Carter's words. "Success is not about proving others right or wrong. It is about proving yourself right." These words became his shield against fear and negativity. He knew that other people's opinions did not matter. What mattered was his own effort, focus, and learning. One day, a very difficult exam was announced. It covered all subjects: math, science, history, and language. Alex felt a small flutter of nervousness in his stomach. The exam was harder than anything he had faced before. Many students groaned and whispered about how impossible it was. Alex took a deep breath and calmed himself. He remembered how Mr. Carter had taught him to break problems into small steps, focus on understanding, and trust his own mind. He sat at his desk and began the exam calmly, step by step. The first few questions in math were tricky. Alex slowed down and solved each one carefully, thinking about the logic instead of rushing. He remembered similar problems from past lessons and applied the methods he had learned. When he reached the science section, he read each question slowly, visualized the experiments, and answered with clarity. History and language questions required reasoning and explanation, not just memorization. Alex used his understanding to explain answers clearly and thoughtfully. During the exam, Alex noticed that he did not feel the panic he used to feel. He did not compare himself to other students. He focused only on the work in front of him. Step by step, question by question, he completed the exam. By the time he finished, he felt a calm satisfaction. He had done his best, and he knew it. After the exam, some classmates approached Alex, surprised. "How did you do it?" one of them asked. "You always struggled, but today you looked so calm." Alex smiled quietly. He did not need to explain fully. He knew the truth. It was not luck or talent. It was focus, patience, and trusting his mind. When the results came, Alex's grade was the highest in the class. Teachers and classmates were amazed. Even those who doubted him could not deny his achievement. But Alex did not feel proud because of their recognition. He felt proud because he had trusted himself and applied what he had learned. After school, Alex went to the library to thank Mr. Carter. "I did it," he said, showing the result. "I finished the hardest exam, and I did very well." Mr. Carter looked at him with a gentle smile. "I knew you could, Alex. Remember, the real secret is not the grade. It is the way you approach the challenge. You stayed calm, broke the problem into steps, and trusted yourself. That is a skill for life, not just exams." Alex nodded, feeling grateful. He realized that success was not about impressing others or proving anyone wrong. It was about learning, growing, and applying knowledge in the right way. He understood that challenges were not obstacles, but opportunities to improve. In the following days, Alex noticed more changes. His confidence inspired others. Some classmates started asking him for advice on studying and problem solving. Alex shared the methods he had learned from Mr. Carter without showing off. He wanted them to experience the same confidence and understanding he had gained. Alex also felt a new responsibility. He understood that learning was not just for himself. By helping others, he could create a positive change in his classroom and school. This made him feel strong and capable. Even his father noticed the difference. "Alex," he said one evening, "I see you are more confident and focused. You are improving not just in school but in how you think and act. I am proud of you," Alex smiled. He knew the credit belonged to Mr. Carter's guidance and his own effort. He had learned that with focus, patience, and trust in oneself, any challenge could be faced successfully. He also knew that this was only the beginning. Life would present bigger tests, but he was ready for them. Alex's confidence continued to grow, but he knew that real success was not about one exam or one project. It was about consistent effort, learning from mistakes, and helping others along the way. One morning, the school announced a big academic competition. It would test students on multiple subjects: teamwork, problem-solving, and creativity. Many students felt nervous, whispering about how difficult it would be. Alex felt a mix of excitement and determination. He remembered everything Mr. Carter had taught him. Focus on understanding, take one step at a time, and trust yourself. He also remembered how far he had come, from failing every test to passing exams and helping his classmates. This competition would be a new challenge, but Alex felt ready. The competition day arrived. The school auditorium was filled with students, teachers, and parents. Each team had to solve difficult problems, answer questions, and present solutions. Alex's group included classmates he had worked with before, including Sam, Lena, and Rafi. They all looked at him with a mixture of hope and nervousness. "Remember," Alex said quietly, "we take it step by step. We focus on understanding, not rushing. We trust ourselves." His teammates nodded. Alex felt a sense of calm leadership he had never felt before. The first round tested logic and reasoning. Many students rushed, making mistakes. Alex's group, however, followed his method. They read each question carefully, broke it into small steps, and solved it calmly. Step by step, they completed the first round successfully. The second round was teamwork. Each group had to solve a complex problem together. Some teams argued and got frustrated. Alex's group stayed focused. He guided them patiently, dividing tasks and making sure each member understood their part. When a mistake happened, Alex encouraged them to learn from it rather than panic. Slowly, they finished the task with accuracy. During the final round, each group had to present a solution to the judges. Alex spoke clearly and confidently. He explained their steps, reasoning, and how the group worked together to solve the problem. The judges were impressed. They asked questions, and Alex answered with calm confidence, showing not just knowledge but understanding. When the results were announced, Alex's group had won first place. The auditorium erupted in applause. His classmates were amazed. Teachers were proud. Even students who had doubted him before looked surprised and respectful. But Alex did not feel pride in the applause or the trophy. He felt proud because he had applied what he had learned, stayed calm under pressure, and helped others succeed. After the competition, Alex walked to the library to find Mr. Carter. The janitor was quietly arranging books as usual. "We won," Alex said, holding the trophy, his face shining with happiness. "I could not have done it without your guidance." Mr. Carter smiled. "Alex, you did not win because of me. You won because you learned to trust yourself, focus, and work step by step. That is the real secret. Knowledge is powerful, but wisdom and patience are even more powerful." Alex nodded thoughtfully. He realized Mr. Carter was right. Winning the competition was not just about intelligence. It was about calmness, focus, understanding, teamwork, and trust in oneself. It was about applying what he had learned in real situations. Over the next few days, Alex noticed more changes. He felt more confident in every class. He helped classmates without showing off. Teachers noticed his calmness and maturity. Alex realized that success was not about being the best in the room, but about using knowledge wisely and helping others grow. Even at home, Alex's father noticed the difference. "Alex," he said one evening, "you have grown so much. You are responsible, focused, and patient. I am proud of you. You are learning skills that will help you your entire life." Alex smiled. He understood that true success was more than grades, trophies, or praise. It was about growth, understanding, and perseverance. He had learned a secret that would guide him forever. Challenges were opportunities, mistakes were lessons, and focus and patience were keys to success. Alex knew that the journey was not over. Life would continue to bring new challenges, harder tests, and unexpected situations, but he felt ready for all of them. He had discovered his own strength, confidence, and wisdom, and he knew that Mr. Carter's secret was a gift that would always stay with him. After winning the competition, Alex felt a deep sense of accomplishment. But more than the trophy or applause, he valued the lessons he had learned along the way. He had grown from a boy who failed every test into someone who trusted himself, focused on learning, and helped others succeed. The journey had changed him, not only at school but in life. Every day, Alex remembered Mr. Carter's words: focus, step by step, and trust yourself. They were no longer just advice. They were a part of how he thought, learned, and acted. He noticed that challenges no longer frightened him. Difficult exams, new projects, or complex problems became opportunities to practice patience, focus, and understanding. Alex felt confident knowing that he could face them calmly and successfully. At school, Alex's transformation inspired others. Classmates who had once doubted him began to approach him for guidance. He shared the lessons he had learned without showing off. Try breaking the problem into small steps, he would say gently. Focus on understanding, not just memorizing. Trust yourself. Students listened because Alex had experienced success through these methods himself. Teachers also noticed his growth. They were impressed by his confidence, thoughtful questions, and willingness to help others. Alex was no longer the student who struggled with every test. He was now a leader in the classroom, not because of talent alone, but because of focus, patience, and determination. At home, Alex's father was amazed by the change. He had tried everything to help his son succeed, but the real change had come from within Alex. "I am proud of you," his father said one evening. "You have learned to trust yourself and face challenges with patience. That is a lesson no one can take away from you." Alex smiled. He realized that success was more than grades, wealth, or recognition. It was about growth, understanding, and applying knowledge wisely. He had learned to turn mistakes into lessons, fear into focus, and challenges into opportunities. One afternoon, Alex visited Mr. Carter in the library. The janitor was quietly arranging books as usual. "Thank you, Mr. Carter," Alex said sincerely. "You taught me more than any book or tutor could. You showed me how to trust myself, focus, and never give up." Mr. Carter smiled warmly. "Alex, you found the secret yourself. I only guided you. You learned how to use your mind, stay calm, and take one step at a time. That skill will help you all your life. Remember, success is not about being better than others. It is about becoming the best version of yourself." Alex felt a sense of peace. He understood that his journey was not only about passing tests or winning competitions. It was about personal growth, understanding and learning how to face life's challenges with confidence and patience. He also realized the importance of helping others along the way, just as Mr. Carter had helped him. From that day on, Alex approached life differently. He no longer feared failure. Every challenge, whether in school, home, or elsewhere, became an opportunity to practice focus, patience, and understanding. He remained humble, grateful, and kind, sharing his lessons with others while continuing to learn and grow himself. Alex knew that his journey was just beginning. Life would bring bigger challenges and new tests, but he was ready. He had discovered a secret that could not be bought or given: the power of his own mind, guided by patience, focus, and self-trust. He had learned that real success came from growth, understanding, and perseverance. As he walked through the school halls one afternoon, Alex felt confident, calm, and happy. He had transformed from the boy who failed every test into someone who could face any challenge, help others, and continue learning for life. He knew he owed much to Mr. Carter, but he also knew that the greatest gift was what he had discovered within himself. Alex smiled quietly. He was no longer afraid of failure. He was ready for the future, ready for challenges, and ready to make the most of every opportunity. And most importantly, he knew that real success was not about wealth, grades, or recognition. It was about believing in oneself, learning from every experience, and growing step by step into the best version of oneself.